So I wanted to shift gears now. We've talked about how Yelp scaled using the cloud, using Salesforce. Wanted to shift gears now and talk about connecting with your customers socially, both from a sales and service perspective. Now, you've probably seen a lot of information about this. It's very easy to connect socially with your customers using our sales application. But there were a couple things that I wanted to point out that are very specific to being a smaller or medium business. Acquisition of customers is so important. It's the lifeblood of growth. It's easy to acquire customers with Salesforce, but then it's easy to manage that prospective customer. So if you have a lead come into your business, whatever your business might be, by using Sales Cloud, it's easy to acquire and manage those customers. You can access that information anywhere, and I love Jeff's example of his sales rep going home and working from home so that he could be on the phone with customers comfortably, not bothering the engineers, but he could work off his mobile device. That's a perfect example of what we see a lot of people do. And then it's easy also to collaborate internally with employees using Chatter throughout your organization or externally with your customers using Chatter as well. But once you've acquired those customers, it's important to serve them as well. And so last year, we made a decision to acquire a company called Assistly, and you've seen it rebranded here at the conference as Desk.com. This is basically the service product that we have that helps small and medium businesses and growing businesses serve their customers very effectively. So with Desk.com, you can actually deliver support across any channel to your customer. You can help your customers help themselves. They can get access to knowledge bases via their mobile devices. And it's so simple to use that customers get up and running over the weekend. It actually takes them less time than over the weekend. And it's really easy to train employees, even if they're remote employees, on how to use this service. So we want to share with you a little bit about what that experience looks like. And to share this experience, we want to profile another company, and that is Square. We didn't talk that much about Square yesterday, but I want to show you. How many people are familiar with the Square payment device? A lot of hands going up in the room. So this is a little payment device that you can pop into your iPhone, and you are now capable of taking payments. It's as simple as that. And what Square is doing, and this is a Jack Dorsey company, he's the founder of Twitter as well, or he runs them both, sort of 8 hours a day in each, a foot in each camp each day. Square is really reinventing commerce. They're revolutionizing how transactions happen between buyers and sellers. The company has 400 employees based here in San Francisco. They have over 2 million merchants are using the service right now, and they're processing a remarkable $8 billion in payments each year. 8 months ago, that number was $2 billion. So you can see the rapid growth that Square is experiencing. And we want to show you how Square is running their business internally. And then I'm going to have their CFO, who's here with us today, share her perspective on how Square is growing. But first, I want to have Alex Bard, our General Manager and VP of our Desk.com product, come up and demonstrate how Square is using our product.
Thanks,
Alex.
As Hillary mentioned, Square is an amazing company that is redefining how businesses process payments. And Square runs their business on Salesforce. Let's take a look at how Square uses the Sales Cloud to manage their merchant relationships and Desk.com to support their customers. So this is Sarah, and she's on the partnership team at Square. She starts her day every day in her Chatter feed, which is a Facebook-like experience that helps her stay on top of all of her deals and collaborate with her team. But Sarah doesn't spend a lot of time in front of her computer because Sarah's always on the go. And so what does she do? Well, she uses the new Salesforce Touch app to stay connected and be productive anytime and anywhere. You can see here that at the top of her Chatter feed, there's an update from one of her customers. They're opening up a new West Coast location, and they're interested in the new Pay with Square. So Sarah pulls up the contact information and sets up a face-to-face meeting with Lauren. If we fast forward to that meeting, Sarah has all of the key information that she needs right at her fingertips to deliver a killer sales call, including the most recent version of a sales presentation her team has just uploaded. She can open that presentation right on her iPad and share the benefits of Pay with Square with Lauren. Lauren loves what she sees, and Sarah closes the deal on the spot. One and done. That's Hillary's, but I like it too. Let's do it again. One and done. All right. Salespeople in the audience. Sales Cloud is easy to use and be productive. It's social because selling is a team sport, and it's mobile, so you can be connected and productive anytime and from anywhere. But what happens when Sarah's new customer, Lauren, has a question? You've heard us for the last 2 days talk about the fact that the world is social. So instead of calling or emailing, Lauren goes to her Twitter page and posts a question about the rewards program right there. Well, because Square uses desk.com, this tweet is automatically brought into their support environment. So let's take a look at what the experience is for a Square support agent. This is Alex, and he's logged into desk.com. On the right-hand side is his universal inbox. Here, he can see all of his customer support requests across any channel: Twitter, Facebook, email, phone, all in one place, so that no customer ever falls through the cracks. At the top, we can see the tweet from Lauren, which we're going to go ahead and open up. Here, Alex can see some case details, and if he clicks on the customer, he can see more details about Lauren, including real-time information from the Sales Cloud, where he can see that we just closed this opportunity. So we want to make sure that we deliver a killer service experience. On the right-hand side is the original tweet that's just come in. Now, Alex can type a response, or because he knows that this is a frequently asked question, he can use a macro. A macro is a really quick way to take multiple actions on a case, including adding an article from the knowledge base that's formatted specifically for Twitter. Alex clicks Update, Send, and Resolve, and in just a few clicks has been able to get an answer out to Lauren. So let's take a look at the experience for Lauren. We go back to her Twitter page, and if we refresh that, we can see right there, just 16 seconds ago, is the response that Alex sent out, pointing Lauren to a knowledge article. She clicks on the link and is brought to the support center powered by Desk.com, which gives her all of the information that she needs. Desk.com is a really simple way to support all of your customers across any channel, traditional and social, so that no customer support request ever falls through the cracks. Thank you. Hillary, back to you.
Simple demonstration in some ways maybe makes it look simpler than it is. So we have Sarah Fryer here, the CFO of Square, joining me on stage, and you're going to give us the real scoop on how this all works, right?
Exactly. Thank you, Hillary. Well, just to explain a little bit more on Square, Alex used the phrase simple over and over again, and it's a founding principle really for our business as well. When Jack and Jim, our co-founders, got together to talk about what they wanted to do, which was really to level the playing field for all of you out there in small and mid-sized businesses to be able to accept credit cards. And one of the most amazing stats I heard when I first joined Square was that today there are about 26 million businesses here in the United States that are accredited, that have signed up and said they're a business. And of that, only 8 million can accept a credit card, which is really a flooring stat. Why don't the others? Mostly because it's such an archaic, complex, just over-the-top experience, right down to the fact that usually the smallest of businesses can't actually get a credit check approved to be able to accept a credit card because they haven't been in business before, which seems ridiculous. So Jack and team really went about founding Square on the principle of simplicity and leveling that playing field.
So I'm going to give you your visual here.
Exactly. So our very first product was the card reader, which it sounds like, it looks like many of you are using. From there, we morphed to our register product, and that was really to give you something to put right there on your countertop. We know that all of you care about the look and feel of your business. I know that many of the business owners that are going to stand up here today care so much about that look and feel, and yet they usually end up with a really ugly looking point of sale sitting right there. With that new register product, again, cloud-based, so we want to follow in the footsteps of what Salesforce has really pioneered. We are taking all that data. We can give you that SKU data so that you know that when Hillary walks in and spends $10, she didn't just spend $10. She bought 2 lattes. And on Thursdays, she likes to eat biscotti with her latte. So on Wednesday, when you have 5 biscotti left and you've got half an hour to close, we want to be able to think about how you get back to Hillary and say, hey, 5 for the price of 1. And again, nice link back into the systems that we're using with Salesforce around things like CRM, et cetera. And then finally, I don't know if you want to click on through, the final product was turning it around and saying, okay, those are for all you sellers out there. Now let's think about the buyer experience. And so this is Pay with Square, which is effectively closing that loop. So again, with your phone, you can download an application. It's called Pay with Square. We love it because we think it even simplifies the ultimate piece of commerce, which is, why do I carry a wallet? I've got a great processor that I carry around with me everywhere. This can be my wallet. Not only is it about the ultimate payment experience, but we know that commerce is bigger. Commerce starts with wanting to find something you know you have a need. We want to pull you in to want you to fulfill that need, just in the same way that Yelp goes out there and helps you find those right businesses. We know that when you walk into the store, you want to be greeted with, and what I learned at Salesforce, welcome to or welcome back. And we know you want to be able to tell the difference. Salesforce just does such a phenomenal job of that, and we are merely following along in their footsteps on that front. And then finally, after that swipe happens on your phone, you don't even need to take it out of your bag. You can literally pay with your face. We want you to be able to then share that socially. And Hillary is right about our generation. And then the generation to come, we know our daughters are going to be out there sharing with their friends everything that they do. Probably too much sharing, right? But that commerce is an end-to-end experience. It's not just about an actual swipe of a credit card, that it's really how you define that whole customer interaction. So I just want to say thank you for helping us get there. From being a small business ourselves, Salesforce has really helped us both from a support angle, what Alex talked about, but even around some of our bigger CRM initiatives with now big companies like Starbucks.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted you to shift to. I think you probably have a lot of customers in the audience that are using the Pay with Square, or using the point of sale device, but not using Pay with Square. So that's a huge opportunity for them to think about owning that consumer relationship. But in your role as CFO, and you think about scaling up Square, going from $2 billion in payments 8 months ago to $8 billion today, that's a lot of growth. Can you comment a little bit about how you think about the investment in infrastructure and business solutions to support the organization? Because obviously you own the dollars and cents on that.
Yes, that is certainly the plan. You're exactly right. So we are building to scale. I mean, certainly when we started the company, Jack probably did dream big, and I was making reality catch up, like Sir Richard said yesterday. However, I think, for all of us, we look at $2 billion, as you said, at the end of last year, to $8 billion in payments processed today, to what we're now planning for over the next 2 years as I build out my plan. And it is a huge requirement that we can scale. What we do is mission critical. If you're right there and your customer can't pay, we are putting you out of business, and we can't let that happen. So that need for us to be able to work with vendors that can scale with us. The cloud clearly is the only way to go, I think, on that front. But importantly, that our vendors who work with us get that we may be small today, but that we're looking to be big, and they're going to work with us the whole way along, is a big point of why we choose a vendor to work with.
Yeah, that's great. And we will support you, much like we heard Tim Campos talk about Facebook yesterday. Facebook built their infrastructure based on Salesforce when they were a very little unknown company, and here we are today, and they're one of the probably the best known brands in the world at this point, other than Coca-Cola.
Exactly.
So Sarah, thank you so much.
Thanks,
That was really wonderful of you to share your story. And I'm gonna come down off stage because I want to share two quick little additional stories. Sarah talked a lot about being at scale, working with millions of businesses, small businesses around the globe, millions of consumers, but then we have a lot of businesses that are using Salesforce to just work with very few customers where the relationships are very dear. So I wanted to invite the CEO of Leviev Jewelry to come up here, Paul Raffs. Let me introduce Paul to the crowd here. Paul, welcome. Hello. And this is like my fantasy to have Paul here because Paul's organization delivers the most extraordinary diamonds. You're going to tell us that you deliver more than that, but what I remember, the most extraordinary diamonds in the world, he has my husband and Sarah's husband's business cards. We'll try for this. And you're a company that was founded in 2006, 25 employees based in New York, but you really have a global footprint, and your relationship with your customer, Paul, is dear, to say nothing else. So can you tell the audience?
Sure. First of all, I have to say I've noticed the banners and the Salesforce plus equals. In my case, it's not like it's love. I love Salesforce and I really mean it. It changed everything for us. So first, to explain to you, I just would like to tell you what my problem was. We grew up in a wholesale business. And we had that small niche of extraordinary diamonds that we needed to market, and we could not market them the conventional way that we did all the rest of our diamonds. So we took that decision that we're going to go retail and take our own future in our own hands, our destiny, and make that happen. So I was one of the founders, and now my problem is, how do I get it done? So for a guy like me who's an old-timer, one of my big problems is that I don't understand that new language, and I only know the way I used to do my business. So first of all, cost. I was concerned from previous experiences that I don't get into a situation where I have a wonderful product, but I just can't afford it, or it just doesn't make financial sense for my business. And it doesn't matter what it is you're doing, if it's a house, if it's a car, anything. If you can't afford it, it's not worth it. And if it's affordable and doesn't do what you need, I don't want it for free. So that was the first thing, our first click that I loved about Salesforce, that I knew what my costs will be. There was nothing hidden. I knew I didn't have to worry about upgrading and changing and doing, and it'll just work its way. Now, the most important part of our business is the customer relationship.
That's right.
What you call CRM management. I'm from New York, we call it schmoozing, just that personal touch with a client. So thanks to Salesforce, I have abilities that I never dreamt of. I know of everything that's going on in our operation, and it's all thanks to Salesforce. Now I had another problem which was very major. We are international. We have boutiques in Singapore, in Russia, in Dubai, now in China soon, and in New York. And we needed a way to move our product and be able to show it to all of those clients that do come in and want to have a look. Now, some of them will come in and just say, wow, that's nice, but I really wanted something bigger or something smaller or something similar, but no. So Salesforce gave us that entire answer. My entire inventory is in Salesforce. Every piece that we have is unique, photographed in the system. So each and every one of our people, they log on and they can show everything that we have to offer. And when a client says, well, that is something that I might consider, we'll make sure it gets there overnight. And that saves me a fortune in expenses, but more than that, it gives us the opportunity to show everything. Now, the biggest perk, I mean, for me personally, is the fact that it's a mobile device. Now, for me, even as I'm here, my phone could give me that beautiful email, that alert. And I got to tell you that there's nothing more exciting for me than seeing that potential client. The potential sale. I'm learning all these probabilities. And I never knew any of that stuff. So when I started, I said, what is this? The potential, probable, 20%, 50%. But it works. So now I get this email that says potential client. And on the bottom, it says, with a touch of my finger, I can log on to Salesforce. So I touch it, and it opens up for more details. We had asked all of our people all over the world to try to give us information. So what may not seem relevant at that moment really is important to us. So we will know, thanks to Salesforce, that a beautiful woman walked in and she had a ring and she had that watch, but she didn't have the necklace that matched it. So when they tell us what it is,
He's selling.
it allows me, and I'll close the sale.
Paul, thank you so much. That was a great
Anyway,
story.
thank you all.
That was wonderful.